Millionaires join Davos protests, demanding "Tax Us Now" group call for fresh taxation of wealthy to tackle cost of living crisis and gulf between rich and poor.
Here's a summary of the article.
A group of millionaires have joined protests against the World Economic Forum gathering of the business and political elite in Davos, Switzerland, demanding that governments tax us now to tackle the burgeoning gulf between rich and poor. Phil White, a former business consultant and member of Patriotic Millionaires UK, said, "While the rest of the world is collapsing under the weight of an economic crisis, billionaires and world leaders meet in this private compound to discuss turning points in history. It's outrageous that our political leaders listen to those who have the most, know the least about the economic impact of this crisis, and many of whom pay infamously little in taxes. The only credible outcome from this conference is to tax the richest and tax us now." Tax the delegates attending Davos 2022. Marlene Engelhorn, another patriotic millionaire, at the protest, said the only solution to gross inequality was to demand that governments tax me, tax the rich. Our governments continue to do nothing to address gross inequality and instead meet behind closed doors in this spectacle of private wealth. We have hit the end of the line when another 250 million people will be pushed into extreme poverty this year. It's time to rebalance the world. It's time to tax the rich. Jaffa Shalchi, a Danish multi-millionaire engineer and property developer, said, "You don't win people's trust by holding events like Davos, where the world's rich and powerful meet behind layers of security. The most significant thing Davos participants could do to actually win people's trust is to acknowledge that the wealth and privilege they represent and protect is incompatible with a world where everyone can live full and prosperous lives."
This post received a score of 21,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
"Sorry millionaires, you're just middle class now. Nothing's gonna happen if the billionaires aren't on board."
Agreed. $1 million won't buy a lavish lifestyle for long these days. Source millionaire, and I'd definitely pay more taxes, especially if the country did something better for our people with the money. Sadly, they don't seem able.
Can I spare some change? We can call it taxes. Tell me when they start hiring lobbyists. Millionaires can't afford the kind of lobbyists that make a difference when politicians vote on taxation. That's how bad it is.
Because if the good faith ones give exponentially more than the others, we are left with bad faith actors gaining.
Very few people actually give enough money to put more than a dent in their finances. It's more that millionaire doesn't mean what it used to. You can be a millionaire by being upper middle class with a nice house and some investments. They don't have cash to dump into politics. Well off more than absurdly rich. The people who buy politicians have immediate access to millions in cash, let alone their savings and assets.
Wanting adequate assets, money to retire comfortably already means needing to be a millionaire.
Fucking hell, you need at least $1 million to exist. There's a bungalow on my street in a town of under 25,000 for sale. It's 1,250 square feet on under 0.5 acres of land and they are asking $999,000. This is the worst timeline.
$1 million is a lot closer to zero than it is to $1 billion.
About $1 billion.
Millionaires want the billionaires to pay taxes.
They also have a vested interest in their taxes going up as well. They've been going down for ages and they can easily afford it. They're aware that they're rich enough to be a target if societal breakdown over cost of living increases occurs, but not rich enough to buy islands to escape to. You can only enjoy being rich in our current system if the system continues, and it's not stable right now.
Well put.
Note that tax rates on the wealthy have been going down since 1950. See.
Really tells the whole story, doesn't it?
Surprise, surprise. That the topmost elite wealthy really started to pay less taxes during Reagan administration. That entire gap could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Imagine how many politicians you could buy off with that much loot laying around. Maybe not in direct payments until after CU, but by funneling it towards business expansion in one state versus another.
This is why I always get a good chuckle out of people being upset about how there are people in welfare who just don't want to work really. You think there's so many of them they cost you anything near the people who make billions, pay no taxes, and charge you outrageous prices.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.